Akpabio is wrong, Senator Natasha is wrong, until we get an investigation into what has happened. I think I should put that first. And we can't take sides. We had a couple of things. As regards what happened in Kogi, I have a couple of questions for the Kogi government. In Kingsley Fawo's letter, he said because there were skirmishes as regards fishermen and 1 or 2 people died. And that's why they blocked every part and blocked major roads into Kogi. So since when we've been having terrorist attack and jailbreaks, why didn't the Kogi government block all the roads?
Those are the questions.
There was a jailbreak, and there have been many incidents of terrorist attack in Kogi. At a point, it was a hotbed. Why didn't they block all the access to be able to prevent people from coming in?
Where the state's commissioner for information, Kingsley Fawo, accused Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan of inciting violence during her homecoming rally on Wednesday. Well, on Tuesday, Senator Natasha defied security restrictions and arrived by helicopter in her hometown of Ihima Okehi local government area, where she was welcomed by her supporters. Fawo spoke on live television, criticizing Akpoti-Uduaghan's claim that Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo, and his predecessor, Yahaya Bello, were plotting to assassinate her. The commissioner warned that such allegations could trigger violent confrontations. Let's listen to Natasha.
Of Mad, Akpabio spoke to Governor Ododo to recall me, but he told him to be impossible because the masses are with her, the people are with her. But Akpabio was not satisfied. He then sent for Yahaya Bello. And it was actually Senator Asukwo from Cross River that drove Yahaya Bello from Hilton Hotel. I was informed of everything. And when I got to know, hold on, the meetings was in 2 folds. He told him to commence my recall and that he was going to fund it. Of course, monies changed hands that night. The second thing he told him was that he should try and kill me. I didn't make this public, but I wrote to the IG of police. And Akpabio told Yahaya Bello, I am saying, standing by what I've said. He told him that he should make sure that killing me does not happen in Abuja, it should be done here. So it will seem as if it's the people that killed me here.
Dr. Bati, serious allegations here. The commissioner also said that the rally was aimed at inciting her people and also eliciting reactions from the supporters of other principal actors, and that if they had reacted, it would have led to a lot of bloodshed. He also defended the government's decision to ban rallies, saying that it was necessary to prevent a breakdown of law and order. Before I come to you, Dr. Bati, let's play a clip of Natasha's homecoming before we come back for a discussion. All right, Dr. Abati, I said I was coming to you, but let me take this so we can tie it all together. Meanwhile, former lawmaker representing Adamawa North, Elisha Abbo, has criticized Senate President Godswill Akpabio's handling of Natasha's suspension, accusing him of political bias and high-handedness. He spoke on Arise Prime Time with Charles Anyangolo. Abbo argued that Akpabio's actions, including withdrawing Natasha's security and barring her from the National Assembly, were unfair and put her life at risk. He also accused Akpabio of being vindictive, even towards him, after he challenged him in the Senate before his removal. Let's take a look.
Akpabio came to my hotel room around 2 a.m. and pleaded that I should work for him. And I told him that I will not work for you because I'm already committed to Senator Yari, and these are my reasons. After the election, one of these days we were in his house, and we had a lengthy discussion. And he started taking me around the house. And he said, do you know that I have a chapel in my house? I said, wow, you have a chapel here. I said, let me see. We went there and he showed me the chapel. And in the chapel, he told me that, you know, you are my brother. I say, yes. he said 5 senators will leave the Senate. He said 5. I said, how did you know? He said, I'm the Senate president. I know 5 senators are leaving. And true to what Akpabio said, 5 of us left. Every senator that was removed from the Senate got their own official vehicles, leaving only Senator Abbo alone. Senator Darlington got his own. The 2 senators from Plateau, the other Senator Ohere, the 4 of us removed by the court. They all got their own. Because I challenged Akpabio, I was the only senator that they refused to give him the car. That is the vindictiveness of somebody called Akpabio.
All right, another serious allegation, Dr. Abati here. But you know, when I was listening to that, all I could think was, Akpabio really likes to take people to his chapel. It's the second person we're hearing say he likes to take people around the house. But seriously, on Tuesday was quite the story when we saw Natasha accusing, the Senate President and Usman Udodo and Yahaya Bello of trying to kill her. And now, we're hearing that serious defamation, Dr. Abati.
Okay, number one, Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan defied the ban that had been placed on rallies and public gatherings, both by the Kogi state government and also the police. And she said it was Salah season, and that there is nowhere in the Constitution where she has broken any law, and that she was not campaigning, she was just going home for Salah holiday, to meet our people. And I think it's very interesting that the state government has not said she violated any law. After all, the Nigerian Constitution creates room for freedom of association, for freedom of movement, for freedom of thought and belief. The responsibility of the police and the state government was to, provide protection, to make sure that there was no breakdown of law and order. And it's not proven that there was any breakdown of law and order, as a result of that homecoming that she had in Hima, in Ukei local government area, as a daughter of Ibira land. But going beyond that, Kingsley Fanwood, the Commissioner for Information, said that some of the things she said there were provocative and could have led to the breakdown of law and order, because in his view, these allegations that there was a collusion, Senator Asuko was mentioned, the governor was mentioned, the White Lion, former governor of Kogi State, was mentioned, Senate President Godswill Akpabio was also mentioned. I think in this their drama, people should just, realize that when you make allegations, you may be called upon to prove them. The law does not allow anybody, you may not have broken any law, but the law does not allow anybody, no matter how highly placed, to start accusing people of intent to commit murder, intent to kill, intent to cause violence. And the details, she said she was privy to, those persons who have been maligned publicly could take her to account and ask her to come and prove where there was any discussion at all that they were planning to assassinate her. Those are very grave allegations. And I think maturity will require that people, should be careful what they say about other people, no matter what the politics. And that's for Senator Akpoti. As for Senator Elisha Abbo, once a senator, you are a senator for life. He represented Adamawa North. Now, it sounds like sour grapes. It sounds like, vengeance, right? I think that's the right word. It sounds like personal animus by, seizing this opportunity of the conflict between Senator Akpoti and Senator Akpabio for him to go public, to also begin to abuse Senator Akpabio, accusing him of vindictiveness, accusing him of being like an emperor in the National Assembly. That's the way it came across to me. And then there are other details in what he said. He said his last month's salary was not paid. I thought it was removed by the court. So it was as a result of a legal process that he lost his case in court. If the court had already, removed him from the from the Senate, why should he expect to be paid? He said another thing, that senators of the Federal Republic are usually paid before the 19th, in line with federal government rules. So the federal government of Nigeria pays senators salaries before the 19th, when most of the people in the civil service and public service of Nigeria, some of them do not receive salaries for months. Yes. There are government agencies in this country where you cannot get salary even at the end of the month. So they seem to be very privileged persons. So those other people working for the federal government, going to work every day, this is what they say. When they say that our senators are over-pampered and overpaid. Good point. In addition to allowances. The third point he made was about, cars being allowed to be taken away. Why should they go away with their cars? That, again, is a serious allegation. Did they pay for those vehicles that were given to them? And he says he was not the only one. He was the only one that was not given the car. So this, again, is, a revelation of the kind of, behavior that we find at the highest levels. People will go away when they leave office with furniture, with vehicles. One more point. Yes. When he said, Senator Akpabio said 5 senators will be removed from the National Assembly. Senator Akpabio is not the one that elects senators. He's first among equals as Senate president. So Elisha Abbo will have to prove how the Senate president can just say, oh, you have been removed from the Senate. Right. That's a bit, a flight of fancy kind of allegation. Right. If you are taken to court and you lose, in election petition matters, that's not Akpabio. Well said. If your people don't vote for you and you don't come back, that's not Akpabio. If the president says, okay, 2 senators have been appointed ministers by the president of Nigeria, is it Akpabio that went to tell President Tinubu to remove those 2? So some of those allegations don't quite add up together. Those are good questions. Well said, Dr. Abati. But Rufai, Senator Natasha Akpoti's homecoming was quite the sight. When I saw those videos circulating online, I was in awe because, we've been talking about the recall process and the amount of people that had, tried to remove or recall Natasha. But then we saw a mammoth crowd welcoming her. I'd like to read Aisha Yusufu's tweet before I come to you so that we can, discuss it all. Well, Aisha Yusufu wrote, I woke up this morning and I am more encouraged than ever. I have been talking about how the legislative arm of government is the bedrock of democracy, and Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan has shown me what having 300 Natashas at the National Assembly can look like. Let's do this, people. One voice. Again, she was one of the women that we honored, women making impact in Nigeria. Arise News honored her. And her speech was quite moving. She said that she wasn't sure she was going to come up stage or she was going to come for the award because of all the, basically media trial. But she got the loudest applause. And for her, it was a testament that, her movement or her, accusations or allegations felt valid for her. Rufai. So a couple of things. Again, I want to put a caveat first. We have not seen the evidence. I can't say Akpabio is wrong. I can't say Senator Natasha is wrong. Senator Akpabio is wrong. Senator Natasha is wrong until we get an investigation into what has happened. I think I should put that first. And we can't take sides. We are never taking sides. We have never taken sides. But a couple of things as regards what happened in Kogi. I have a couple of questions for the Kogi government. In Kingsley Fawo's letter, he said because there were skirmishes as regards fishermen and 1 or 2 people died. And that's why they blocked every part and blocked major roads into Kogi. So since when we've been having terrorist attack and jailbreaks, why didn't the Kogi government block all the roads? Those are the questions. There was a jailbreak and there have been many incidents of terrorist attack in Kogi. At a point, it was a hotbed. Why didn't they block all the access to be able to prevent people from coming in? Because that allusion, for me, to those 2 incidents in those local governments was not strong enough. They blocked everywhere to the extent that Senator Akpoti had to come in with a helicopter. She got in there. The same events that they said was going to not be peaceful turned out to be peaceful. And when Kingsley Fawo was interviewed, he said she made some statements. A couple of things, and I'll go back to those statements. Yes, the principle is he who alleges must prove. But
For her to make those statements in the first place speaks volumes of our system. The question is, who has investigated those statements she has made? Who has investigated if there was a need or if there was a meeting of some sort like she claimed in the first place? And she too must be ready to make, appropriate submission. But I must repeat, if anything happens to Natasha, we will speak loudly because nothing must happen to her. She's a citizen, she has every right. And when you look at it, there's always an element of bad faith. How did somebody making an allegation against the Senate president lead to a recall in the first place if there was not a level of connivance?
No, like, what's the correlation?
So there's no correlation.
No correlation.
So for those that want logic, I've given them logic. Yeah. All we'll have thought is that they investigated that in the House, but all of a sudden it has led to a recall, and we are hearing fictitious signatures everywhere. Thirdly, I don't agree with Senator Elisha Abbo on everything, the sex toy thing and everything.
He said it was a candy shop.
Candy shop. But with due respect, it is in the time of malice that things will come up. And I don't see anything wrong with Elisha Abbo, because this is going on with Senator Natasha Akpoti and Senator Akpabio now, speaking up about his own incident. It is when things happen, what we should investigate is that, are all the things Elisha Abbo saying, are they wrong?
Well, must investigate.
So he too must be able to provide evidence for all this. I don't see anything in being vindictive. If you human beings everywhere do it, they see something happening to somebody and they make their point known about it. The question is, all these allegations, is it wrong? And we should be able to investigate. How will somebody know who will be pulled out and not be pulled out?
Right.
It speaks volumes about our processes and systems in this country.
A lot of points.
All we just want is fairness across board. And please, I must also reiterate, nothing must happen to Natasha Akpoti.
All right.
Please,